What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90, and I have an announcement. I did a poll on the channel asking if you wanted to see prediction videos from other leagues, and I suggested in a recent video that if we reach 30,000 subscribers, I will consider it. Well, the goal is for us to reach 30,000 subscribers by 2025, and if we do that after the winter break going into the new year, I will also, at the very least, try to begin with, to see how it goes, do prediction videos on other leagues. I'm talking Championship, that's going to be a tough one, La Liga, Serie A, and maybe Bundesliga as well. So subscribe down below. We're only 1,600 away now, which is awesome. I am also currently doing a $50 giveaway over on the Patreon, and as you can see, there is the record up there. We've got, I had to show these because in the last Premier League video, I didn't show these. Just look at them, man. 8-fold, 4-draw mega 4-fold, and 2 correct score doubles. But then also, since the Champions League video, we had these winners as well, a lot on Monday, and then the Champions League favourites here coming in clutch for us too, as well as Championship, like I just mentioned. Here's the current record. We've had 95 winning accumulators, and we're currently 330 units in profit. I don't know how the second night of Champions League or Europa and Conference League has gone, but I will have tips up on the Patreon for those as well. In fact, with regards to the Europa and Conference League, if you're on the Patreon quick, by the time this video goes up, you will still have a couple of hours to see my late kickoff tips if you want. Here are the new members that have joined the YouTube Members Club, which also get the same tips as the Patreon. They're not involved in the giveaway because I can't contact anyone on YouTube, but either way, thank you so much for supporting me. You can do that if you want using the join button down below, and it's people supporting me on YouTube and Patreon that will basically free up enough time and allow me to spend hours on researching and editing and making videos on those new leagues should we reach the 30,000 subscriber goal. So subscribe down below, and without further ado, let's get in to Premier League predictions. Kicking it off, we have the early kickoff. It's Crystal Palace up against Liverpool. Now, this could be a little bit of a banana skin, I have to say. I could actually see Liverpool winning from behind, for example. I could see Palace maybe nicking a draw, the same way I predicted Palace to draw against Man United, but I just think Liverpool are a shade better. I don't know how they got on in the Champions League. I think we predicted 2-0 to Liverpool in the Champions League predictions video. I don't think they'll have any problems against Bologna. I'm going to go for a Liverpool 2-0 win, which is tricky because then do you go overs? Do you go unders? It's difficult. If there's an early goal, you never know. But I'm going to go Liverpool to win 2-0. The tip is going to be Liverpool half-time, Liverpool full-time at 1.66. 45 minutes at Anfield. I think Liverpool get a goal. I think it's going to be 1-0 half-time, 2-0 full-time. That kind of game. Liverpool half-time, full-time at 1.66. But I do think Liverpool are going to struggle a little more here at Selhurst Park. However, I'm sort of going against that and going for a Liverpool handicap. I'm going to go Liverpool to win 3-1. I think this will be the kind of game where Liverpool, the scoreline flatters them when actually there was a little bit of a scare. So I'm going to go 3-1 to Liverpool. The tip is going to be Liverpool and both teams to score at 2.87. One thing with Liverpool this season is I'm very good at predicting the result, but trying to find value is a little bit difficult. So, you know, we could easily see another 2-0 win to Liverpool like I keep predicting. But I don't know. I'm going to go 3-1. Liverpool and both teams to score at 2.87. After this, it's Arsenal up against Southampton. Now, Arsenal last night beat PSG 2-0 in the Champions League. What a fantastic result that was. I think they're going from strength to strength. They're going to double up here. This could be the final match before Southampton's manager gets the sack. I don't know. I don't know what they're expecting, really. They're going to lose this anyway. But I'm going to go for Arsenal to win 4-0. And the tip is simply Arsenal and over 2.5 goals at 1.44 because that allows for a Southampton goal rather than going for like an Arsenal -2 handicap or even -1 handicap. Just going to go Arsenal and over 2.5 goals at 1.44. After this, it's Brentford up against Wolves. Now, this is a really difficult one to call. Wolves obviously currently bottom of the Premier League, but I don't think they've been as bad as their points tally necessarily suggests. However, part of me, this is kind of like another gut feeling one. I do think that Brentford are just going to get a win. Perhaps they'll score another super early goal. I'm going to go for a Brentford win 2-1. And the tip is going to be both teams to score at 1.66. I could see Wolves winning this. I could see this being a draw. But one thing I'm very, very, very confident on is both teams to score. Hence, that is the tip. And as you may or may not know, Wolves are the team that I have correctly and successfully predicted the most this season. I'm currently collecting data for my Premier League teams record to basically find new and interesting ways to back my predictions, but also tip against my initial predictions should there be value to do so. But Wolves have been my most successful team this season, and I think both teams to score is an absolute banker. But after that, we're going to move on to Leicester up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth, we, as you would have seen in the winning accumulators earlier, we tipped them to win and both teams to score against Southampton Monday Night Football. Leicester, I mean, Leicester, they almost got a point against Arsenal, but even if they did manage it, I think it's fair to say it wouldn't have been like a deserved point, really. Arsenal were just absolutely battering them. However, I could see something going their way here. I'm going to go for a Desmond, a high-scoring 2-2 draw between the two teams, and the tip is going to be both teams to score over 2.5 goals at 1.9, because I see Leicester scoring, but I could see this being a Bournemouth win and both teams to score, so I think it'll be high-scoring, both teams to score over 2.5 goals as the tip. I really, really like that. After this, it's Manchester City up against Fulham, and I think this is going to be... I'm weirdly confident on this scoreline considering how many goals there are. I'm going to go for Man City to win this one 3-1. They beat, I think it was Slovan Bratislava. They beat last night, so 4-0 as expected, really. But I think Man City are going to win this one. I could see Man City winning from behind, so Fulham to take the lead and Man City to win. I'm going to go 3-1. The tip is Manchester City and both teams to score at 2.62. Fulham currently, I believe, in 6th place in the Premier League. They've had a good start to the season and they can definitely trouble Manchester City, but City will need to bounce back from that draw against Newcastle in an effort to try and get top of the league. Obviously, if Liverpool win at Selhurst Park, they won't be able to get top of the league before the international break, but still, I think Man City claim all 3 points here. After this, West Ham up against Ipswich. It's not a relegation 6-pointer. It's not. West Ham are not going to be in a relegation battle, in my opinion. But Ipswich certainly are. They're actually unbeaten against teams that aren't Man City and Liverpool, which is a crazy stat by week 7, but also when you think they've only got 4 points because they can't win a game. Brilliant result for them against Aston Villa, of course. Delap is some player. And similarly to how I predicted Everton to beat Crystal Palace at home when they hadn't won a game all season, I'm actually going to predict West Ham to beat Ipswich, even though West Ham have not looked good this season. I think this is where they get the win. I'm going to go for it. West Ham to win 2-1, and I'm actually tipped West Ham to win at 1.8. Just like the gut feeling with Everton to beat Palace when there was nothing to suggest beforehand that they should have done. There's nothing to suggest here that Ipswich won't get at least a point from West Ham like they've done against everyone else in the last 4 games. But something here in my gut is telling me to go for a West Ham win, so I'm going to say West Ham to win 2-1. After this one, it's Everton up against Newcastle, a game that I really struggled to predict. I initially had a draw, but I just changed my mind. The tip didn't change because I do like the tip, but Everton, Goodison Park, I mean, if we look at their last result, as we said, they beat Crystal Palace, but Newcastle, they got a brilliant point against Manchester City, and I'm just going to shade it to Newcastle. So I'm going to go for Newcastle to win this one 2-1, but the tip is both teams to score at 1.53. I just want it to be said that I initially wrote down 1-1, but Newcastle should be able to beat Everton. I think it depends. If Everton score first, I think you should back Newcastle to win. If Newcastle score first, maybe Everton will kick into gear and get something from the game. You never know. After this, one of the games of the week, I would say, is Aston Villa against Manchester United. Aston Villa playing Bayern Munich tonight in the Champions League at Villa Park. I've predicted Bayern Munich to win, right? But I definitely think Villa can cause them some problems. I think they'll at least score. Bayern Munich are obviously an unreal side, so I don't know. I feel like the best Villa can hope for is a draw there, but I mean, you never know. But I think at Manchester United, they'll have a better chance. And Man United, I think tomorrow they play Porto. I could see Man United losing against Porto as well, to be honest. But one thing I can see is Aston Villa to win this game. So, I mean, if Aston Villa beat Bayern Munich, for example, then they will surely come into this with just an insane amount of confidence. In fact, I could see Villa beating Bayern Munich and then Man United beating Porto. Both upsets. And then that meaning Villa win this game. If that comes true, if Villa beat Bayern, Man United beat Porto, and then Villa beat Man United, I'm just saying. But I'm going to go for a Villa win here. I'm going to say 3-1, and the tip is just going to be Aston Villa to win at 2.15. I think United were abysmal at Tottenham. I actually said in the last video, if you go back and watch the video where I predicted Man United Tottenham, of course, I said that it was more likely out of the two teams that Tottenham would turn up on the day and randomly win 3-0. And that's exactly what happened. I think Villa can win this one 3-1. Villa to win at 2.15. After this, it's Chelsea up against Nottingham Forest. Chelsea, I think they're playing, it's Ghent or Genk. I can't remember which one in the Conference League tomorrow. I reckon they'll probably win that one like 3 or 4-1. But Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, I think this is going to be a high-scoring Chelsea win. I'm just going to go 3-0. Forest were unable to score against Fulham, and although they've had a decent start to the season, Chelsea are just good. I'm finally seeing people online saying, Chelsea are a shout for top 4. Chelsea look good this season. Go back and watch my Premier League predictions video from 2 months ago. Where did I put Chelsea? 4th place. I feel like I was not ahead. You know, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. I feel like I was ahead of the curve with Chelsea from what I saw of them. I even predicted them to finish 4th last season. Like, I was so far ahead of where everyone else thought Chelsea were. And I backed myself, and I think they are going to get top 4 this season. And I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to Chelsea. The tip is Chelsea to win at 1.48. And the final game, this one promises to be super exciting. Brighton up against Tottenham. Well, as I mentioned just now with Chelsea and Brighton, I actually predicted Chelsea to beat Brighton 4-2 last week. That was another pure gut feeling. And this one, I really like the odds. I really like the value. I'm going to go for a Tottenham away win. I think both teams will score. I think they'll be over 2.5 goals. You could absolutely look towards that as a tip. I'd even consider a correct score prediction here. I'm going to go for Tottenham to win this one 2-1. And the tip is going to be Tottenham to win at 2.2. I've struggled to get, you know, my finger on the pulse with regards to Brighton, but I think Tottenham are going to have enough to take the win here, but I definitely think Brighton will score. So 2-1 to Tottenham. There's some brilliant fixtures here, some brilliant value. I mean, we've got odds of Tottenham and Villa to win, both above evens. You know, there's so much value to be had this week, and I do think West Ham can finally kick on their season a little bit. And beat Ipswich as well. And yeah, all in all, I think it's going to be a brilliant game week, and I'm super excited. Flashing up on the screen are all of the members that are currently supporting the Patreon. If you want a shout out in every single video, as well as the exclusive tips and accumulators and group chats that we have, then feel free to click the Patreon link down below. This is the last video where I'll shout out the October giveaway. But if you guys continue supporting the Patreon and the channel, I will then start doing giveaways monthly. We did $100 last month. We're doing $50 this month. If you keep supporting me, like I said, I'll do more and bigger ones because I want to give back to you as well as you guys giving back to me. So subscribe down below on the road to 30,000 subscribers, and maybe after over 6 years in business on the Full 90 channel, we will introduce Serie A, Bundesliga, Liga, maybe not Liga, La Liga, all those good leagues in videos as well. But that is going to do it from me, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.